I mean, this probably has to be one of the most beautiful decks I have in my collection. Hey my ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. I hope everybody's doing okay. It's Monday and it's rainy and dark, but I'm home. I've got my candles lit, I've got my incense burning, and I thought I would just come and spend some time with you and go through this deck. If you saw my video over the last couple of days, which was a vlog video showing Sandra and Elle's visit to Nottingham. We spent a few days together, and on the Friday we went to a market town in Derbyshire called Chesterfield, and we went to a shop called Curious Goods. I have mentioned it before on my channel, and we all bought some stuff in there, but I bought this deck. In fact, I looked at it, I was umming and ahhing, and I put it on the shelf and I left. And I got down the road and I was like, do you know what? I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and get this deck, because this is a deck that I've kind of been aware of for at least a year. Sandra, actually, who was with me, has or had this deck. And I remember watching her walk through and just thinking that this was just a beautiful deck. But I was a little bit intimidated by it because, you know, it's a deck that focuses on alchemy. It's called the Splendor Solis Tarot. So Splendor Solis is, you know, the splendor of the sun, really. And there's this amazing sun image on the back. And this is one of my favorite sun images. It reminds me of, and it's not the same, but it reminds me of the sun that appears in Deck of the Bastard. But as I've mentioned many times before, I love suns. I love suns with faces and moons with faces, and I don't know what it is about it. I think it kind of takes me back to my childhood, you know, with the man in the moon and all that kind of thing. But I love to see faces on stars and suns and moons. So I was a little bit daunted by it because it looked quite complicated, and I think it is a complex deck. But I thought to myself, you know, I need to practice what I preach, and I'm always saying to people, don't be off put, you know. There's lots of correspondences that people have attached to the tarot, whether it's astrology, Kabbalah, the Hebrew alphabet, etc. And tarot can be as complicated or as easy as you want it to be. And whilst this is linked to, you know, an old manuscript, an alchemical manuscript from the 1500s, you can still use it as a tarot. However, as you'll see when we get there, it does do its own thing. It's not a RWS illustrated deck by any means. It's not a pip deck either. It's not a Marseille deck. So when it comes to the minors in particular, you know, if you see the Four of Cups, then read the Four of Cups however you want to read it, whether it's you visualize the RWS image of the Four of Cups with the person, you know, who's kind of sitting under the tree, not paying attention with the arms folded and seeing this offering being made, or whether you see the Four of Cups as, you know, emotional stability using numerology and pips. That's up to you. Or this deck comes with a book. I think it's about 200-page book actually, from memory. But all I've done so far with this deck is take the cellophane off and have a quick look at the cards, because Sandra couldn't remember if it was gilded or not, and I seem to think that it was. Now, I believe originally this was an independently produced deck. I think it was on Kickstarter, but you know, you can buy it, you know, mass produced now. This was on a shelf in a shop, and I was going to say it's not that expensive, but for a mass-produced deck, it was £40. I think it says on the back, yeah, 39.99. USA, it's 49.95. So it is on the pricier side, but the quality of this production for a mass-produced deck is, well, let's just say it sets the bar, because I never realised that, you know, a deck of this quality could be mass-produced. It's stunning every way. So the box is rose petal. It's got that nice rose petal finish, and it says Splendor Solis Tarot, 78 card deck and companion book, and it's by Marie Angelo. And you get the, it's got this kind of foiling, cold stamping, Splendor Solis Tarot, Marie Angelo. A dazzling discovery, taking tarot to a whole new level. Discover the substance of stories, symbols, and spiritual adventures. Yeah, so, and there's some quotes here on the side. So it's in a 2-part box. It has this kind of cutout, so you can easily open the box. But again, even the inside of the box is rose petal finish, and it is beautiful. This is the book, and as I said, it's quite a chunky book. It is fully illustrated in these beautiful coloured paintings. It's just beautiful. It's got like the pages have a shiny finish, so fully illustrated. I mean, look at that. It is wonderful. 224 pages, and then an image on the back cover, and there's a lot of information in here. So if you are a little bit daunted by the system itself, then you've got a really good book to check out. So, and the book again is also rose petal finish. As for the cards, wow, these are stunning. Let's just put this away. Really, really beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen such rich colours. I'm just checking on camera actually how that's coming out. They have these gold embossing on them, but they're really beautiful. Look at the gilding. The gilding is in matte brushed gold, and then the backs are beautiful. All of this as well is rose petal. I know not everybody likes rose petal because they think it's difficult to shuffle. Even if I was a ruffle shuffler, I don't think I would ruffle. Did I say ruffle? I don't think I would shuffle this deck. I was getting my riffles and my shuffles mixed up. But I actually think that this is possibly the most beautiful deck I have in my collection now. It's absolutely stunning. So how best to do this? I don't know really whether I should do a flip through so you can have a look at the images, and then I'll come back and talk at the end, or whether to just talk. Let's do both. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll move the camera down and I'll just talk to you as I show the cards, and then at the end, if people just want a flip through, I'll try and remember to put a timestamp on so you can just move to that, or go to the description and just press on flip through. It'll take you straight to the flip through. Okay, so I think I've got the lighting a little bit better now, so you should really be able to see the richness of these colours. I mean, just look at that. They're absolutely beautiful. You'll see that there is these kind of gold accents on there. There's borders, and throughout the deck you'll notice that. So as I mentioned, you'll notice there's kind of 2 titles. You get a keyword, but that is linked to the alchemical manuscript that I mentioned, because there are 22 tablets within that manuscript, which the creator, Marie Angelo, has linked to the 22 trumps, the major arcana card. The minors, as I said, they're not scenic as such, and they're not pip. They follow the Kabbalah tree of life, but I'll explain that because, you know, Kabbalah is not something I'm really into, but I think it's quite interesting what they've done. So the artwork, as you can see, it kind of follows a Renaissance type of of art, which is in keeping for the time when the manuscript came from. So what we get here is we get our 0, and then we get this word or this title called accomplishment, which when I first saw it, I thought accomplishment for the Fool, but then at the bottom you get alchemy of the Fool, and each card will say, you know, it will reference the traditional major arcana, so alchemy of the magician, alchemy of the high priestess, etc. And then we get this title at the top. So again, you know, it's however you want to read it, but just look at the detailing and the artwork, the animals, really, really beautiful. I just love these backs. And then we have the alchemy of the magician, and that is the alchemist himself. And the animals and things change. Now, when it comes to the minors, I keep jumping ahead, don't I? I should really wait. All the 4s will have the same border, all the 5s, etc., because they're linked to an association of a planetary association or a plant, etc. But just look how beautiful this is. There is a vibrancy of the colours. And in fact, there was something written, it must be on the box, I've not had a chance to read the book yet, that mentions how the vibrancy of this. So it says the minor arcana tarot designs, along with the diagrams and esoteric tracing boards. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. So Marie Angelou worked with tarot specialist and visionary artist Deborah Bashi, and in true alchemical fashion, with dew collected at dawn during the times of the ram and the bull. So the paints that we use, because this is hand painted, was mixed with morning dew, which was collected at dawn during the times of the ram and the bull. Isn't that beautiful? The High Priestess. I'm just going to, obviously, instead of saying alchemy of the High Priestess, and the High Priestess, interestingly, is the Fountain Knight. Again, you know, there is a beautiful book that you can, if you pull cards and really study with these, look at that, then that will help you. But you can use this deck and use this as, okay, I've pulled the Empress. I love the sun and the moon there. Look, the fire. Wow. Gorgeous. The Emperor is the mountain. Quite a different layout there. The same with the Hierophant. The great tree, I can get behind that. The cardstock is phenomenal as well. Beautiful. I'm thinking at least 400 GSM. The Golden King is our lovers. We have the Chariot, the welcoming angel. Strength. There's our Hermit. Decapitated somebody. Well, actually, it's been cauterized as well. The Wheel of Fortune. Philosopher. We have Justice and the Hanged Man. We have Death, and Temperance, the Devil, and the tower. Just stunning. I love the scenes depicted underneath as well. Really beautiful. Alchemy of the Star, the Red King. This is just stunning. This is the moon card, which is eclipse. And you can see the moon eclipsing the sun there. It's reflected in the water too. Beautiful. We have the sun. Judgment. You could lose yourself in these beautiful paintings. I love the way that they're framed as well. If we're going to have borders, we may as well have beautiful borders. And then we have the world. So when it comes to the minors, as I mentioned, you know, there are scenes, but the central part focuses on the Kabbalah Tree of Life, which I'm no expert on at all. But what you will notice is right in this, and these are for the cards 1 through 10, you'll see that we have the elemental symbol. I'm trying to catch it so you can see the elemental symbol there. So we'll go through like the air suit, which is the alchemy of the Ace of Swords. So we get an elemental title at the top, and then what it would be in the traditional tarot, shall we say, in the bottom. But the symbol between 1 and 10 will move through each of the spheres through the Tree of Life. Okay, so there is a symbol for each of the spheres, and the elemental symbol will move between them. And what it does, as it moves, it will illuminate, if that's the right word, or energize the sphere that it's left behind. So for example, we'll see here that as it's moved to the second sphere, it's illuminated the first one. And then that one becomes illuminated too. And so on as it moves its way down. This is the fourth, the 3 previous have now been energized, illuminated, and so on all the way through. So if you see, when we get to that position and it moves on, that has become energized. So we've got them all. And I think that's such a beautiful concept. The other thing to mention is they are color coded as well. So the air suits are all in yellow. And then let's get past the earth suit are in this beautiful green. I think that is absolutely stunning. And then the fire suit is in this very vivid, bold red color as we move through. And then our final one, which is our water, our cups, it's in this beautiful deep blue. Isn't that just gorgeous? So that's our minors. Anything else to say? Oh yes, of course, the borders. So when we get to the 2 through till 10, they are the same. So they have the same zodiac correspondence, and it will have the same border representing the same herb plant correspondence. So if we get our 3s together, just so I can show you this. So even though the color has changed in the background, we will see that they're both, the 3s represent Saturn, and that the borders are the same. So we've got the correspondence of the plant but also of the planets as well. And that will be the same when we get to the 3 of fire. It's Saturn with the same planets, and here Saturn for water. Okay, and the same planets, and that's how it is all the way through. And as I said, you know, there might be a few people who are a little bit you know, think that this deck might be too advanced for them. But what I would say, you know, and I haven't been sent this for review. I've bought this myself, so you know, I'm not I don't feel obligated to say it. But what I would say is, I think having the book would help, but you could still read this because you've got your Ace of Swords, and if you follow Marseille or Thoth or RWS, you will know what the Ace of Swords is. So I don't have an issue with that at all. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to do a silent flip through. We'll have some nice music, and you can just see each of the images now if you want to look at the whole deck in its entirety. Okay, so there you have it. This is a chunky deck, as I mentioned, because the cardstock is exceptional. The only thing I didn't mention when I spoke to you earlier is that in the majors you get the Roman numeral as well as the number, and the courts are priestess, priest, queen and king. So we've got the priestess royal, for example, the priest royal, the priestess queen, and the priest king. And then the other thing just to mention is that with when I mentioned the corresponding borders, you do get a border within a border, if you like. So you get your 5, which is corresponding to Mars throughout all of the minors, and the corresponding plant. But then you do get this kind of window, this scenic window in each of the cards as well, which is just beautiful, really beautiful. I think this deck is stunning, really stunning. I'm really pleased I went back to the shop and that I purchased it. I don't know how I'm going to get on using it in terms of using it as it should be used, but I'm hoping that the book will help with that. But if not, you know, and I use this as a regular tarot deck, then I still think it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah. All right, well, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have this deck? And if you do, how do you use it? I'd be interested to know. Do you use it as a traditional tarot, or do you use it as it's intended? Or what are your thoughts anyway? Even if you don't have it, do let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, everyone. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.